Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty person? Our next guest says you can profit in times of pessimism. Joining us now is David Skryka, author of Mega Returns, Profit from Maximum Pessimism. David, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm looking at one of our interviews from 2013. We've been interviewing each other a long time, talking about this stuff.
Congratulations. I do remember that. My hair is a little longer now.
Yeah, your hair is a little longer, but the background is still the same, which I love. Congratulations on the new book, first of all, and give us your assessment on where things stand now, because we do hear a lot of pessimism about the economy.
Well, the thing about the economy is this. I was pessimistic entering the year and had nothing to do with Trump. I talked about this on a show the other day, that I don't know if you know what the yield curve is, but that's, short-term rates compared to long-term rates. And it went inverted last year, and then it went back to positive. That has happened 5 times in the past 45 years. And all prior 5 times, a recession happened in 12 to 18 months. So it's 100% batting average for this indicator. So I kind of thought there could be a recession. And partly as I talk about hypernormalization and the fakeness of the economy in the book, because the economy was really bent on cheap money, government spending, all of these things that really President Trump has no control over. And that's why I thought, and I think a lot of that money that people got for free is now out of the system, like the checks for COVID, et cetera. So sure. That's kind of, not there anymore.
Yeah, and we were talking even back then about the race to the bottom and quantitative easing and the availability of free money, and none of that had really fundamentally changed, but it does appear like Scott Bessent is serious and Donald Trump are serious about changing those long-term policies that have been in place ever since really, going back to 9/11.
Well, the one thing I talk about in the book, too, is, again, this hypernormalization is that I think we're seeing a shift from, really in the last 20, 30 years, the technocrats. That's the people in Silicon Valley, Wall Street, have run everything, financial markets, basically. Now we're going to political power. And it might be tariffs from Trump, or Germany rebuilding their military, or Carney in Canada wants to do more government spending to stimulate. So we're seeing governments, I think, take back control from maybe like Wall Street and Silicon Valley. And that could trickle down to some of the working class. Because look, it's great when the Dow is 40,000, but who does it really benefit? Like, one reason that President Trump got elected, or these populists around the world are getting elected, Nigel Farage is doing very well in the UK, is because people feel like they've been left behind.
Yeah, it's for sure. And, a lot of people own stocks through their mutual funds and things like that, but the concentration of wealth is held by very few people. Real quickly, about a minute left, David, you also talk about Doge in the book, and we hear about these cuts being made by Doge. Talk to us about that. Do you think has Doge really fundamentally changed anything in the federal government?
I think they tried and they saw a lot of the ludicrous spending that's going on. That's a good start. But look, I'm a libertarian politically. And I think if you really need to, you're going to have to reform entitlements. Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare need to be revamped, because that's 60% of the budget. And actually, if you include interest, that's almost 2/3 of the budget.
Yeah, something's going to have to give, and House Republicans are trying to figure that out right now as they try to get their budget together. David, congrats again on the book, Mega Returns. Go online, get it now. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks for having me.